Welcome, everybody. We are here live at EGX 2014, and I'm surrounded by an assembly, a creative assembly. What's going on, guys?
So we're at EGX
here.
We just announced Total War Attila, which is the next Total War game.
And that's what we're going to be taking a look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to be showing you the campaign and also some battle stuff as well, so it's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. And we have, for anybody out there that's wondering right now, we actually have the chat here. So we'll be taking questions from you guys. And if you guys have any questions, to put question and your question behind it. If we don't get to you, repeat yourself. So we can get your questions. And then at the same time, also, if you guys ask questions that don't have answers to, well, then we're going to say we can't answer that. So, do you want to just like get into the game, start talking about what you guys do?
Yeah, great. I'll just introduce also Craig Lakehill is our community manager. You may have seen him on such famous shows as Rally Point. To my right, we have Dominic Starr, who is our lead campaign designer on Total War Attila, and Pavel Voice, who is our lead artist on Attila as well. So these guys are going to help us out with some of the questions.
All right, cool. Well, let's just dive right in, right? Let's take it out. And you're going to be manning this over here.
I am manning this. You're seeing live code right now before you. So
look,
zoom out, zoom in. Look, it's live. It's real.
That's amazing.
Well, that's such a great feature.
That is like, that's hot. That's hot.
That's hot right now.
Thank you for that. Zoom in, zoom out feature. That really took a lot of time to make happen.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So what you're seeing here is the kind of overview of the Attila campaign map, right? So now we're playing a campaign game here. We're a few turns in. We're playing as the Western Roman Empire, right? And the challenge here is colossal. So playing as the Western Roman Empire is the hardest position to start from in Attila. And the point is we want to make a really hardcore challenge for veteran Total War players, right? So the whole point is you're attacked on all sides by all these different factions from the word go, and later on you're going to have to contend with Attila the Hun and his millions of Hunnic horsemen sweeping westward across the map and basically aiming for the very heart of your society. So, you kind of got to work out what you can afford to lose in terms of territory to build from a position of strength. So we've got loads of little overlays, new overlays, which you can judge the health of your campaign game with. So we can look at religion, for example. This is obviously a key part of this historical period, like Christianity, newly Christianized cultures all around, especially the Roman empires, right? Sanitation's a big deal.
Gotta keep it clean.
Yeah, totally. If you don't keep it clean, you get ill. And being ill in the Dark Ages, I mean, this is 395 AD,
that was
right?
over.
You don't want to get ill.
There's no penicillin.
Yeah, exactly.
You're done. Yeah. You went gangrene right away.
Exactly. Lose a leg, It's bad stuff. So, and we've also got this geographic overlay here, which lets us see the kind of the terrain of the campaign map right from the very top.
This one's my favourite. I like this one.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's very pretty.
It's because you're in nature. Is that why seeing trees?
Yeah. I like to be at one with the world.
There's a lot more trees back then.
Oh yeah,
we started chopping them down recently.
Uh-huh.
Definitely back then there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, it was a very treey place. So yeah,
and these work over the top as well, so we can see those same overlays over that geographic overlay as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's really nice. So it's tough starting with you guys. You can see our armies marked with these white markers here, stretched very thin. We don't start with many armies. We're being attacked everywhere, so it's super tough. So we jump down to the campaign map, and we'll just take a quick look at campaign map visuals. So we've really relaxed the zoom on the camera, so if we zoom out, you can really see, get a sense of where you are in the world. You know the shape of countries in your heads because you've seen geography books. You look at the map and you understand where you are, so it gives you a great sense of location of the world. So Craig, give us a quick flyby actually of the bound. So we're going to fly around just the boundaries of the Western Roman Empire and show you just how big it is, but also show you some of the new levels of detail we've got in. We're really focusing on higher texture fidelity right across the campaign map, so you can see the detail is much richer and sharper right around, and you can see all the different vegetation. We've got lots more vegetation types as well, and again, this is really to get across those different areas on the map, the different climate zones, and sort of working alongside that as well, we have loads of different sort of lighting volumes all around the map. So in North Africa you can see it's really crisp and dry, and the sky is clear, it's not rainy and cloudy like it is up north in Europe. And again, that just gives you a great sense of atmosphere and where you are in the world as well. So I think you can see that with all the work we've been doing for campaign map here, we've really upping the detail level as well, but we're looking to optimise really hard as well and make sure that we're getting nice frame rates.
Look at that sea. It's not
beautiful. Look at that water.
Look at that.
A glorious new sea shader.
Oh man,
it's so
when it had life in it.
Yeah,
this is so great. People are feel like Christopher Columbus The director?
I would love to go for a
right?
swim.
The movie director.
I would swim in that every day.
I would drink it if I
So
could.
we've got a question here from John Freeman. So really, what's this Total War game about?
It's about the dawn of the Dark Ages, the fall of Rome, and the coming to power of Attila the Hun, who was a massive force for change in Europe at the time. So it's about contending with that threat, that onslaught, and also contending with the changes in the world at the time. Climate change was happening, disease was rife. It really was like, people thought it was the end of days. And, it's about contending with that.
Yeah, so basically, Attila's the big bad guy. He builds up over the course of the game, and you find out about his coming, about his birth, and about his rise to power. And it's almost like delivered as the seven seals in the Bible. So we've got this real, it's delivered from a kind of early Christian viewpoint. The end is nigh. It's the end of days. He is the scourge of God. So he really is the bad guy here. So just pop back to campaign map, let's pull up the family tree, because everyone loves the family tree. So it's, we've re-engineered the family tree and brought it to Attila because, people really missed it in Rome 2. And also it's so much more relevant to this period as well because it's a human level kind of time span from the start of the game to the end of the game. It's not like several hundred years where people come and go. These guys are going to be with you for a long time throughout the course of your campaign, and you can really work on their skills and get them up. Make them great politicians or make them great generals. And here's where you do that. So you further their political careers. And one of the things we do is we can assign characters to governorships of different regions in the world. So Craig here, for example, can take one of our guys and we'll assign him the governorship of Britannia Superior.
Britain, where we are right now.
Yeah.
Britannia Superior.
So we now have a ruler in place. He can enact edicts for us. He can buff that whole province with all the skills he's built up over the course of his career. And he'll also appear as a general in the garrison army as well if you're defending in a battle in that city. So that's really nice. And let's have a quick look at the record screen while we're here as well. Again, we mentioned this in the announced video, but this is really. It's an event feed of absolutely everything that happens in your game, right? Absolutely everything, and from there you can upload the entire history of your campaign to your page on TotalWar.com.
Okay.
And then view various aspects of your campaign over time through. We're going to work on a bunch of different visualizations, that you'll be able to share with people online. So it's really nice.
I thought you did very well, by the way, when we were on stage announcing, not to describe it as a giant log that built up over time.
Yes,
which is
I've been saying that a lot, and I decided not to say that. So, what's going on there? Over here, yeah. So if you want to hit the city, building browser.
Yeah.
So again, we work in the UI in a lot of areas. We're trying to make it.
Yeah, it's
I suppose
deep.
the philosophy is making
a lot
it.
going on here.
Yeah. We're making it more useful for the player. We've got drop downs for a lot of stuff. We're showing people all the buildings at once so they can plan, their construction projects in their cities and make better decisions in the campaign game. It's all about kind of putting the right information in front of the player at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much nicer way of laying it out in terms of being able to see. You're saying about, it looks like there's a lot going on, but actually, for
it's
a
actually
massive
quite
campaign,
elegant.
it's actually quite a nice way of doing it because it's all sort of filtered by type of building. So you can just focus on one area at a time and not get overwhelmed by all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Sanitation.
So sanitation is kind of a big deal because we used to have it sanitation squalor. If you get too squalid in your cities, if you don't clean house, people get angry. So your street sweepers aren't out doing the work. It gets filthy. Yeah, rebellions and things like that.
Yeah, you get a clean area.
So that was back in the glorious pristine days of the classical Roman civilization, the Greeks. We're in the Dark Ages here. It's dark. It's dirty. There's famines. There's disease. So diseases are really bad. And actually, I'm going to get Dom.
While he's doing that,
is your mic working? Is your mic working?
Some microphone problems.
Great.
My pro tip is to build toilets.
About diseases.
Build toilets.
Can you run through some of the diseases in the game and tell us a bit more about diseases in general?
Well, disease will break out in cities that you don't provide enough sanitation for, and we have such wonderful diseases as smallpox, measles.
Fantastic. Those are my favorite. I like some most wonderful diseases.
An old favorite in computer games.
Right.
Tuberculosis. very nasty.
Okay.
An early form of the plague will make an
Early
appearance.
form, beta play.
And each of
Before it
these
got hot.
will have various levels of infectivity. The amount of damage they cause to your troops, the unhappiness they spread amongst your people.
I don't think people would be happy with that first version of the plague. Beta plague.
Proto-plague.
Yeah,
nobody wants
proto-plague.
Proto-plague.
Yeah, no Ebola though. No Ebola?
No Ebola, no,
Ebola?
barely.
Not getting there yet?
Topical,
Yeah,
typical.
yeah.
I like it.
For sure. Yeah, that's great. So
so
there's a lot of
disease is a big
disease
deal,
going on.
they
Disease is a
spread-
hot
they s-
topic. It's
they
always
spread through trade routes as well. Like, so
Yeah.
if you're trading with somebody who's running some dirty cities and not doing their tidying up properly, right? And you're trading with them, then that might get transmitted to your city. So there can be an economic impact as well. A socio-economic impact for diseases.
But we've actually got an example of a dirty city here, Al, which is, I believe, your hometown.
Yes, Colchester. Colchester. Well, I actually come from Harwich, which is just outside Colchester. But basically, so Colchester here has sprouted a nasty disease. So yeah.
So that's what those things that are spilling over it.
Yeah,
I thought it was money.
It's
I thought it was cash money.
Oh no, the stuff that's coming down. That's because we've issued an edict. So once you issue an edict, that's a symbol that there's an edict in effect, which is kind of a province-wide buff that your governor can get going for you. But no, the cloud to the left of the edict, that cloud that's rising like that stinky cloud, that is a symbol of a disease.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, we'll just take another quick look at a bit more UI. So we've got our tech trees. We've bound them all up into a single panel now, which makes it much easier to plan your progression over time. Compare your different technologies. Before we had them kind of broken out into lots of separate individual tech trees, but again, it's all about our philosophy with Attila of just improving the UI to make it more useful to the player and present them with the relevant decisions they need to make, to in this case plan technical progression or plan skill progression, for example. So if we go in at our general here, we've moved away from the kind of card stacking system for skills, and we're back to tech trees. Skill trees. So we can really see which direction we want to push that guy in as we're planning our skill.
It's almost like a little RPG where you're kind of developing your generals over time, and you kind of choose their development, how they're going to play out. So you can make one a particularly strong cavalry commander, or one a particularly good sort of governor, or someone who's really good at kind of up close melee fighting. So you almost get this kind of game within a game of trying to organise your generals to do different things and manage different bits of the empire.
And so you see people in the
sorry.
chat are asking questions. We're looking at them.
Okay, I've got a question from Roger. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Roger.
What playable factions will you have beside, what we've seen so far, Western Roman Empire, Eastern Roman Empire, and Huns? We didn't say the Huns were a playable faction. They're the bad guys. We've got Saxons, of course, and that's what we've seen on the map here, and that's what you'll see in a battle shortly. But we have got, obviously, a ton more factions that are going to be playable, and they will play very differently to those kind of legendary start positions of East and West Roman Empire. They're a particular challenge, but we'll also have a more traditional, start small, grow big kind of challenge. So, a more traditional kind of sandbox growth kind of total war gameplay for a faction as well. The Saxons will be one of those, but we've got a ton more factions, but we're not quite ready to talk about those yet. So we'll move on to those all in good time.
How does this game compare to previous releases of the franchise?
Well, I'd say in terms of scale, it's similar to Rome 2. In terms of the map scale, it's similar to Rome 2. But the time frame has completely changed. We've got 4 turns per year, so there's a season per turn, and really it's 70 to 100 years, rather than say hundreds of years. So slowing that kind of gameplay down means, you see your characters for longer, they'll live for longer, you'll have more time to generate their skills, and they'll become much more important to you as a player.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So that's really that's a really important change, I think. So a question here is, are the new features like the family tree exclusive to Attila, or we see them in Rome 2? So we've currently got no plans for that for Rome 2. Sorry, it's really crackly here. So no plans for that for Rome 2, and really, we think it's most relevant to Attila because of the point I've just mentioned, which is, your character's going to live a lot longer and they're going to develop a lot more over the course of your game. So what game is this? Total War Attila. So I think so. So do you know what? We should switch over to some battle gameplay, and what I might do is we'll switch over to some battle gameplay, and I'm going to pull one of the devs in my place to play battle. So if we switch over to, hang on, let me just get the camera to a decent position here. So if we get, so what we're going to do is we're going to get James Given, who's one of our community coordinators, to come up and play this battle. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Pav, to Dom actually, and then we just want to do it from here. Okay. Can you hear me? You can. Okay, great. Right, okay, so we'll carry on like this. I've got to switch over here because James needs to sit here and play.
All right. Come on in.
Come on.
Come on in. Have a seat over here. You're going to hang out there. We're doing a switcheroo, people. Camera people. People are coming in and sitting down.
You'll be interested to hear that myself and James have a real rivalry when it comes to games in the studio. I basically desperately want him to lose at everything he does, games-wise.
Oh no, you really want him to just fail?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, failing is
it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to wish upon him. But if you knew James, you would understand exactly why I want him to fail.
So
Very
James,
hard.
you're in battle mode right now.
Always in battle.
Always in battle. Live in the battle.
I was born in battle mode.
I was born in the battle mode.
Yeah, you were born in battle.
Yeah.
Well, wow, man.
No,
True warrior.
in that sense.
There were dark times in 395 AD. So basically, this is a sort of typical battle that you might see in Total War Attila. This is actually London. This is where we are right now. So you can probably see Earl's Court knocking about there. There's a little Twitch stand down there somewhere, probably. But this is where we are right now. But obviously 395 AD, so a very different sort of time. But you can still see all the kind of little bits of period architecture that are starting to creep in. So you've got almost medieval style buildings that are kind of coming into play. This is sort of getting towards the Dark Ages, so this city would have stunk, would have really stunk.
Yeah.
It would
have been really bad. It would have been really stinky.
Especially if we hadn't been building toilets.
That whole technology was kind of new.
Yeah. So this is kind of typical battle. James is playing as the Western Roman Empire. So they're kind of once great military power who are kind of starting to crumble under the weight of their own kind of size. And James is playing as them, defending the crumbling remains of Londinium against the Saxons who are trying to take it off him, basically. So there's a whole load of new stuff in Total War Attila that you can see kind of visually off the bat. It's much sort of darker, apocalyptic kind of feel. There's a lot more sort of smoke in the air, fire. And we've actually got this system called siege escalation. So as you siege, so the campaign map that you saw before, if you siege a city on the campaign map, then over time, the longer you're sieging it for, the more damage will actually be applied to it when you jump into the battle. So in this case, this has probably been a siege going on for 3 or 4 months of game time, maybe more. And the city's starting to crumble around him. You can see there's a big breach in the wall there where there would have once been a very sturdy kind of wall there stopping any enemies from coming in. There's fire as well, and that's not just kind of a visual thing. That will spread over the course of this battle, and it's dynamic. So every time we play this battle, it spreads in a different way, and that's really important because it can destroy his buildings when he gets back to the campaign map. So if he doesn't basically fight this battle quickly and win it, and get those fires put out, then his campaign map's going to be in ruins. But also, it lowers the morale of all of his troops. So he has to basically find a way of dealing with that as quickly as he can. And the only way to deal with that for him is to win this battle. So, no pressure, James. And he's also got these barricades down here as well. So he's placed one there. These are basically preset positions on the battle maps. So on a big map, you'll get a lot of these hotspots where you can place these barricades down. And you can do things like put units on them. So he's got a crossbow archer unit there that kind of got a nice line of fire. So if anyone comes in that way, they're going to get shot at. And he's got a nice sturdy defense. But you can also place them from up here on the tactical map, which is kind of our overview. So if you're ever at a point in the battle where you feel like there's too much going on, you can't process everything that's happening, you can pull up to this tactical view, and it kind of gives you a nice overview of everything that's happening, where all your forces are, where the enemy forces are. And right now, because we're in the deployment phase before the battle started, James can actually place his barricades down. And it's almost like a medieval tower defense game, and that's sort of like the sort of Dark Ages tower defense game, I should say.
You see, there's a battle question here. That makes sense. Is that a good battle question?
Okay, will defending units still rout when defending a walled settlement, or will they fall back to the centre plaza and fight until the last man, like in previous games?
Yes, they will. There you go. So it's a great question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Simple answer.
There we go.
Yes. So there you go.
Excellent. So yeah, James is putting down a few more of those barricades. One of James's trademarks actually is faffing before the battle starts. He's the kind of player who likes to get every little detail right before he starts the battle. So he has no excuse really if this goes wrong for him. So James, talk me through what you're thinking right now.
Well, I'm gonna hide this unit out here because they can deploy outside the spawning zone. They're more guerrilla units, so I'm gonna leave them there. I'm gonna let these guys come at me because at the end of the day, I've got a massive hole in this settlement, so I'm gonna get punished either way. So I gotta let them come at me, really.
So if you're not familiar with Total War, I mean these aren't two different games. This is all part of the same game. So you have basically you have a campaign map which allows you to move all your armies around, manage your empire, kind of do all the sort of top level stuff of managing your empire and taking territory. But then when you actually fight a battle, you go down into this kind of.
Now I've played a little bit of Total War Rome, and this is the hard part for me. Fighting. I just kept dying. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I thought it'd just be easy.
You know
go
what?
out there and fight.
It's tough. It's tough. There's a few ways you can sort of help yourself with that. I mean, first of all, we've got a few different levels of difficulty. So if you're new to the series or you're having trouble with the battles, set it a bit easier and you'll find
easy mode all the way.
The morale will be affected. There'll be a bit of balancing difference in there, and that will help you out. But also, there's things like the pause function. So you can actually pause a battle at any time, look around, take stock of the situation, work out what you're going to do next, and treat it almost like a sort of turn-based sort of thing.
Right.
So you can kind of just take a break, stop, and a lot of players don't realise at the start that function's there, but totally use it as much as you need to. There's no shame in hitting pause if you have to, although some of our hardcore community will say otherwise. And the other thing is that tactical map there that Doug brought up earlier, James I should say, brought up earlier, allows you to kind of just see at a glance everything that's going on. So you can even hit pause, come up to this, take a bit of stock, work out what you should do. And, you know, history is your friend in this as well. I mean, the battles in Total War are based on, you know, the way the units fight is based on historical, it's based on history. So, you know, if you see about how cavalry were used over time, then if you try and use them in the same way in Total War, it's going to behave the same way. So, cavalry work well against archers.
If you pay attention in history class, then you have the upper hand.
Yeah, or just go on the forums.
So just go on the forums and let them do all the history work for you. All right, I can feel that.
But yeah, different units work well against other types of units. So what James has done here is he's placed his spearmen on this wall because he knows they're going to be a really solid defensive unit. But basically got a long spike in front of them. So if anything charges at him, he's going to be able to hold them at arm's length. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Is this a question? Right here.
Okay, will guard mode or formation attack make a return? Pardon. Will guard mode or formation attack make a return?
Yes.
There you go. These questions are just getting awesome answers. Yes, of course. Bring on.
Yeah, why not?
Will be available for every unit type.
Yeah, so James used it there actually to good effect at the start of the battle because so what that does is basically spread your guys out. So you can click on a button, it will spread them out physically in the space because James is being attacked by a bunch of onagers which are firing a load of projectiles down on him, and they have kind of an area of effect. So when they land, they're going to cause a big explosion around them. If your guys are spread out more, if they're on loose formation, then it's going to do less damage when those projectiles come in. So James has actually been overrun a little bit here. These guys in red, they're the bad guys. They're the Saxons who are pouring in, and James had to kind of fall back to this central plaza to try and defend it a little bit. Although he's still doing all right, he's still got a nice balance of power. So his units are a bit kind of he's outnumbered in terms of Saxon units to his units, but his units are a bit more experienced there. You know, the disciplined Western Roman Empire army units, so they've got a bit more about them. So it's not all about sheer numbers; it's also about the quality of the units that you use, and also picking which units work well against other units and choosing those one-on-ones carefully. And there's many layers to the game in that, because you can start off just by having all your guys in a line and try and defend against what's coming in. But as you play the game, you kind of learn that different units work better against other types of units. So you can kind of get a much better kind of strategy on the go. And people develop their own strategies all the time. And you know, we're almost getting to the point now where Total War games have been around for that long, but people are developing tactics using Total War games that weren't in history. They're advancing on what generals were doing at the time, inventing new types of ways of surrounding the enemy. That's really cool to see.
That's got to be incredible to see when you guys thought you've seen it all.
Yeah, I kind of want to go and find a reenactment society and say, okay, in Napoleon, when people put their guys in that formation, could you actually try that out and shoot at each other, see what happens? I'd be really curious.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Make it happen. Find these people. How to do it.
Yes. Yeah, I will. I'll make it happen. I promise.
So what's going on right now? Are you just like? Is it just total war? Is that what's up?
It is total war. Basically, James has been pretty resiliently defending this central plaza. So you notice the city here has two sort of levels height-wise. So you've got the kind of outlying walls, which are kind of at a lower level, and then you've got this kind of high-level plaza area. So James realised that he's lost his walls, he's lost his gatehouses, he's lost the towers which would have been raining fire and arrows down on the enemy. So he's kind of made a tactical decision to retreat to this central plaza and kind of hold on to what he's got, basically. And he knows that his units defensively are pretty good, so he can kind of try and funnel the enemy to do sort of what he wants. And that's one of the things about Total War. You've got that whole kind of bait and switch thing going on, so you can tease the enemy by sending a horse unit their way, waiting until they take the bait and then bringing them back and dragging them into whatever encounter you want. So, and it's the same with human players as well. If you're playing multiplayer, people do that stuff all the time. Try and create little baits and switches and try and draw the enemy into doing what they want them to do. So there's a psychological element to it as well. So James, how are you feeling?
Yeah,
pretty good.
How you holding up? All right.
The general's still alive. That's the most important.
Do you get sad when you see those guys just dying? Those little tiny men fall on the ground.
You know what? Some units you get really, really attached to, both through the campaign, and you kind of never want them to take too many casualties. And in fact, some people go back and replay battles simply because one of their units that they loved the most got massacred through.
Oh no!
Not mine, no. None of mine ever died.
Oh no, you're the best. I hear you're the best in the world at this game.
Thank you.
I've heard it. I've read it on the forums, the history forums.
That's what they say. Someone was saying that battles seem a bit longer than they were in Rome 2. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is. We've been working on the balance of the units, so the battles take a lot, more time to resolve. It feels a lot more epic. Much kind of harder to move from one side to the other. The other thing worth mentioning, you mentioned this kind of raised area in the centre of the settlement. We've put in a lot of work on in the settlement design, focusing these kind of areas that you can retreat back to, especially with the introduction of the barricades. It kind of really encourages that kind of gameplay, healing back through the different defences. And it's worth mentioning as well that the minor settlements now can be fortified with walls. So you have this added kind of level of defence that you can stack on the settlements, and even the unwalled minor settlements have these, vantage points in the centre of the settlement where you can basically fortify your troops for like a last stand kind of scenario.
Like this one.
Like this one. I mean, this is Londinium. This is a big battle. This is an important battle in campaign terms. If you're fighting this battle, if you're defending this settlement, then something's gone wrong for you, basically. Pav, you're a lead artist on the project as well. What's kind of changed look and feel wise?
Well, we've really focused on bringing this kind of Dawn of the Dark Ages kind of vibe. So obviously you've got the kind of more kind of medieval style architecture. You've won.
He's lost.
Oh no, you've lost.
What happened? Wait a minute. I thought you said you were the best. You got what you wanted.
I did. I am a happy man.
This dude didn't make it. He didn't make the cut.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to the pub. I'm going to have a drink.
Where did you go wrong? Where did you go wrong, dude? What happened?
I got slightly unlucky, obviously. Craig's jeering put me off.
It's the stress of doing it
I
live.
would easily cruise to another victory.
I think that was respectful. I was a dignified, respectful gent the whole way through the stream. I think
and you couldn't make it happen.
It was totally all him.
You decide.
Yeah, let them decide. Is there anything
totally
else?
Flawless.
So, I mean, where did you go wrong there?
A few things.
Okay, a few things. Don't worry about it.
A few things.
You can watch the archive.
Twitch chat is saying #wrecked.
You got wrecked, dude. You got wrecked, mate.
He died.
You got wrecked, mate.
I can take it like a man. I'll be back next time.
You'll be back next time.
Haven't you got a Get Wrecked t-shirt?
I do have a Get Wrecked t-shirt, yes.
Yeah. And yet you got wrecked.
Yeah, people just yelled.
I think he shouted Get Wrecked.
He yelled out, "Get wrecked, mate." That's what he said. So, I mean,
It happens
is there
to me on a
anything
regular
else?
basis.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I have many things I would like to share.
All right,
I'm not
well,
sure this is the time or the place.
Okay,
for
yeah, I
it.
know. You need a couch. You need to lay down and we can
Yeah,
talk about it.
chaise longue, get
just
some
relax.
you know.
Craig should try to win one day. That would be fun. You wouldn't do it.
But I mean, that is Total War Artillery in a nutshell,
Okay.
as it is at the moment. So, like saying, campaign, battles, Dark Ages, getting that sort of way, Apocalypse,
Survival.
Darkness, survival strategy, all of those things, all of these amazing
End
words.
of days.
There's a lot of things going on there. I know it just got revealed, but is there a time frame for release?
Next year.
Sometime now. Okay,
Next year.
great.
It's that nebulous, I'm afraid.
That nebulous. That's fine.
2015.
There it is. You heard a date.
There it is.
A time. A year. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And sharing that. And we'll be back here with more coverage at EGX.